The importance of workplace training. In the American workplace, training on essential federal, state, and local laws and regulations is extremely important for the wellness of your employees and your business as a whole. Training can fall into two different categories: mandatory and preventative. Mandatory training is instruction that is specifically mandated under local and federal regulations. Preventative training might include subject matter that is not required to be discussed but is still important information on workplace best practices to prevent harm or injury. Whether the training is mandatory or preventative, however, the act of training itself will help to prevent fines, penalties, and lawsuits. One example of mandatory workplace training is emergency action plan training. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, also known as OSHA, requires that an employer must have an emergency action plan in place should the workplace be involved in an emergency. Employees must be trained on, among other things, how to assist and participate in a safe and orderly evacuation to keep everyone free from harm. In some situations, however, depending on the location of your workplace, some topics may or may not be mandatory. Many states have created laws requiring training on subject matter that is not required under federal laws. One such example is the topic of harassment. Under Federal Title VII, harassment is deemed illegal in various situations. However, there is not a training requirement attached. Many state laws in the past couple of years have created training requirements involving workplace harassment. If your workplace is not required to hold harassment training, holding your own session on harassment prevention can be shown as an example of your good faith effort in making sure your workplace is harassment-free. Preventative training, as mentioned, may not be required under applicable laws, but could be used to help prevent damaging incidents in the workplace. Aside from the physical damage that employees could experience, the company itself could face irreparable damage to its reputation depending on the incident. Cybersecurity, for example, is not required by law as a training topic, but in today's world of cyber attacks, hacking, and phishing, making sure that employees are trained on the proper ways to keep company and customer information safe is extremely important. Finally, whether the training session is mandatory or strictly preventative, keeping formal documentation of the event is extremely important in the training process. By communicating the information to employees, managers, and supervisors, the employer is reinforcing company policies and beliefs while trying to prevent acts of bad behavior. Every individual attending the training session should sign in on a sheet that can be kept with a copy of the presentation on file as proof that the training took place. This evidence can be used in any possible legal action filed by employees or government entities, showing your compliance with any laws and your good faith efforts in keeping your employees informed of policy. As a helpful compliance tool, workplace training should be an important part of your business's operations. Not following training requirements could become an expensive mistake for employers. For the last 30 years, we have been the company of choice to inform businesses of new and updated laws and provide up-to-date labor law information. For more information on Personnel Concepts training products, please contact a customer service representative using the information listed on the screen. Thank you for choosing Personnel Concepts as your compliance partner.